Hi, welcome to the channel. I'm Skinball, and this isn't something I would normally do, but I decided I wanted to give making a long-form, retrospective, or history type of video a shot. And I figured Fortnite Save the World becoming free-to-play was a good excuse for that. I have a lot of history with this game. I've been playing since around March of 2018, but have really only intermittently hopped on since the game was quote-unquote launched in 2020. I've been scammed hundreds of times, especially by this guy. I've played the main quest line. I've played pretty much every piece of seasonal content that this game has offered at least once. I think it's safe to say I've seen this game at its best and at its worst. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and start the history dump now. Fortnite began life as a game jam project shortly after Gears of War 3 had finished being churned out of the Epic Games video game machine. Taking inspiration from games like Minecraft, Terraria, and potentially Left 4 Dead, Fortnite began development in mid-2011 and was revealed in December of 2011 at the Spike Video Game Awards. Around 6 months later, at the 2012 San Diego Comic-Con, it was revealed that Fortnite would be a PC-exclusive title, which is probably for the best because I'm pretty sure the hardware at the time couldn't even imagine running a game on Unreal Engine 4. Not much happens for a bit. A delay announcement here, a little insight there, but around 2014 there was a functional prototype of the game. And between December 2nd till December 19th of that same year, the first playable closed alpha test was put into the hands of players. A second functional alpha started on March 24th of the next year and ended on April 14th. Fortnite entered beta in fall of 2015, and they ran numerous beta tests, with some even being leaked online as playable builds of the game. But the next big step for Fortnite didn't really happen until 2017. And that next big step was the release of the Founders Packs in July of 2017, which allowed more people to play the game and provide feedback, and it also allowed Epic Games to obtain more funds for development. Shortly after this public release of Save the World, in September of 2017, they released a new game mode called Battle Royale, which I believe the purpose of releasing Battle Royale as a free-to-play game mode was to obtain more funds for development via the item shop and seasonal shop, but it was also just to garner more attention as well. The first major seasonal event that took place in Fortnite was in October of 2017, the Fortnitemares event. With this event came some new heroes, 2 new exclusive weapons, some new survivors, a new zone called Hexylvania, and a quest line. But as quickly as this event came, it left. And as quickly as this event left, a new one took its place. A Jolly event. On December 13th of 2017, Survive the Holidays released. And with this event came the vacuum tube weapons, the snowball launcher, some holiday-themed heroes, the introduction of mini-bosses, and a new quest line. After this event ended in January of 2018, there were 2 small events that took place in 2018, Valentine's and Chinese New Year's. I did not experience the Valentine's event, but I did get to experience the Chinese New Year event, which was pretty cool. The first major event of the year was the Summer Blockbuster event, which tied into Battle Royale because of the meteors and the superheroes. Shortly after this release, there was the Hit the Road event, which was an on-the-move defense type of event where you defended a truck, I think, as it moved down a road and stopped frequently. The first birthday event released, and around this time, they also had patched a major dupe glitch, which was pretty much ruining the game. The first part of the Canny Valley quest line came out, which was really cool. I actually remember getting to play the first part of the quest line, and I really enjoyed it and was very hyped for them to finish it. By the time October rolled around, they released Fortnitemares 2018, which pretty much was the same thing. And it left as quickly as it came, like the previous year's Fortnitemares. And December brought Frostnite, which is a wave-based base defense where every wave the husks get stronger. It was pretty hard, but also kind of boring because you had to be willing to sit there for like hours on end to complete it. And after that event ended in January of 2019, the Yar questline happened. And this is a pirate-themed questline, which has its own pirate-themed heroes and weapons. And I believe it also brought the introduction of the broadside trap. Which is one of the most overpowered traps in this game to this day. Summer brought the return of Blockbuster, and Hit the Road, and the birthday event, and there was a new event called Beyond the Stellar Horizon, which I believe to this day is the last brand new seasonal event that was added to Save the World. They also finished off the Canny questline, which added the final boss of the game, the Storm King. The same events for October and December released, like they did in previous years. And the same events released in 2020 as well, up until about July. July of 2020 brought the announcement that Save the World was a finished product.
I still love you.
Despite the fact that there are unfinished sections of the game, like Twine Peaks, the game, according to Epic Games, was done. And to rub salt in the wound, Epic Games announced that the game would not be going free to play, but would rather remain a quote-unquote premium experience. And the way to obtain this premium experience was kind of crummy. They released these packs, which included a skin, a pickaxe, a hero, a schematic, and access to Save the World. But over time, these packs got lazy, and they cut out the hero and schematic part, so it was basically just cosmetics and some V-Bucks with Save the World on the side. But that July 2020 announcement brought upon what was essentially the end of the game for the foreseeable future. Aside from the release of Ventures and Battle Royale oozing its way into Save the World's crevices via its movement mechanics, the animals, weapon models, and new heroes basically just being reused Battle Royale skins, every year between 2021 and 2026 rehashed the same quest lines. No new bits of story were added, and the game became a husk of its former self. While Epic Games released useless modes like Party Royale, Festival Battles, and Rocket Racing, Save the World continued to just be neglected by Epic Games. Some of these game modes had less than half of the player base of Save the World, and there are some that even have less than a quarter of the player base of Save the World. And Epic still neglects Save the World despite that fact. The first genuinely good piece of news to come out in a long time came in March of this year, 2026, with the announcement that Save the World was going free to play on April 16th, 2026. But that's pretty much everything up to date history-wise. Now, before I end the video, I wanted to go over some of the points that the community's been discussing since before the announcement in 2020. The first one I'd like to talk about is Hestia, and this is the big one. It's apparently supposed to be the biggest update that the game will have received since the Canny Valley storyline was finished. Nothing about it is really confirmed, but it's rumored to be either an enlarged map, a new region, or maybe like a public community storm shield. It's supposed to bring a UI overhaul as well, but nothing's really confirmed and it's all rumors, so nobody really knows what's going to go on with it. The next thing I wanted to talk about was the Twine Peaks storyline, because honestly, I think every fan of the game wants the Twine Peaks storyline. We all want an ending to this great story, but instead, we just have a zone that's just basically a harder version of Canny Valley. It also has its own Storm King, so yeah, it's basically just a harder version of Canny Valley. The next point I wanted to discuss was the Loot Pass. This was a more recent talking point. Epic Games accidentally uh, announced that there was going to be a Loot Pass. Some people think it might just be a rework of the Venture Pass, but a lot of us also think that most likely it will just be a monetized pass with heroes, schematics, and XP, which I think would be okay, because Save the World should receive more funding, and if Save the World receives more funding, that means more new content can come out, which actually brings me into my next point. Uh, Less recycled content and new quest lines. I think everyone would love to see new events, new seasonal events, new quest lines, new stories, etc. Um, and if they do decide to fund the game with a monetized pass, or maybe even use some of that battle royale money to fund it, uh, I think they could actually release a couple of new events every year instead of releasing Frost Night and Dungeons for the fourth year in a row. Um, the last thing I wanted to say before I cut the video is there is going to be a lot of players. Like, the servers are probably going to lag, and there will probably be some crazy matchmaking issues. Or maybe there won't. Who knows? But if there is, I think it'll be worth it. Many are going to pick up the game, and they may not enjoy it, and they may go back to playing Battle Royale, but many that do pick up the game will continue to play. They will continue to finish the storyline, and they'll give it the chance that it deserves. And maybe their voices can join alongside ours when we say we want the Twine Peaks storyline. We want more events. We want more content. But otherwise, I've talked about Fortnite for a bit too long, and I crunched like hell to make this video, so I hope it does well. Anyways, see ya.